All right, we welcome in now 2013 national champion. No big deal. She just threw a shutout against Tennessee to win that 2013 national championship. She's also now the pitching coach for Northwestern, OU and Northwestern tomorrow. Michelle Gascoigne joins us. Michelle, thank you so much for doing this on the eve of Game 1 of the WCWS. First, just get us caught up. I know softball's crazy right now, but get us caught up on what's going on in life with Michelle Gascoigne off the field.
Oh gosh, yeah, well, a lot actually there too. It's just been quite the year. So, I welcome my husband. I welcomed our first daughter in September, so we have an 8-month-old here at home. She's with grandma and grandpa. We're in Oklahoma City, so we're really thankful for them, and it's been really fun having her on road trips with the team at practice and obviously at home, and it just gives a lot of balance and all of that fun stuff. But I've obviously played for a mom coaching and work for one, and they're setting great examples. So it's been fun.
I referenced that 2013 national championship year. When you think back to that season, what's the first thing that comes to mind for you?
You know what's funny? I always just think of my best friends, Kehlani Ricketts, Jessica Schultz, Brittany Williams, Destiny Martinez, some of my closest friends to this day. So, it's fun because we are still so close, especially during softball season. We're texting every day. They're big Northwestern fans. Tomorrow will be conflicted, but it's just we went and we did it. We went out our senior year, Jess, Kehlani, Bree, and I, and it was who gets to end their career on a win? Not very many people. So we worked really hard for it, and it's just really exciting to look back and see where we all are now.
Yeah, you win that 2013 national championship. It ended a 13-year drought between national championships, and since that moment, Michelle, I mean, this program has really taken off. Won a few more after that. One, what kind of pride does that give you as an alum that this program has taken that national championship and gone to another level with it? And two, is it surprising at all that Patty's been able to do that in the past 10 years?
Well, I'm really am proud because I do think that my group and the surrounding classes, we had a great senior class my freshman year that really led us as a strong freshman class that was going to play right away. And I'm really proud of like the culture shift that we took at that time where they were kind of stuck before that drought that you're referring to, and just us being really able to create that culture that was strong that has continued to this day with the team. And it's fun to see them as, we call it the Sooner Sisterhood. And,
Yeah.
I see them around the field, even playing them tomorrow. And it's like, I know some of them a little bit better than others, but they do feel like my little sisters, and it's going to be cool competing against them. And it was funny for us. We always heard about the 2000 team, and it's like now it's like every year, the 16 team and 17 team, and so it's quite remarkable how consistent they've been.
One of the big things about the Women's College World Series, especially when OU's in it, is the former alumni stand behind the dugout. They're loud, they're crazy, they make their presence felt. I don't know if you've thought about this at all, but what's that going to be like tomorrow on Thursday when you look up and all of your teammates are there and they're rooting on OU during the game? I don't know if you thought about that. What's that going to be like?
Of course, we have an alumni group text. It started, I think, a group me for everyone that started, I think, last World Series because everyone was kind of coordinating how to get to the World Series and stuff. And I just said, see you guys soon, and so they're great. You said, congratulations. We're so proud. And it'll be fun. It'll definitely be weird looking up and seeing them cheering though.
Well, your team has had a fantastic year, obviously in the Women's College World Series, but what's been the journey for you as a coach there and the rest of your staff? How have you been able to, these past several years, elevate Northwestern softball to where now you're in a position to play for a national championship?
Yeah, I mean, credit to Kate and Carol Drohan. They've created such a strong culture here, and I think right now we just have the right group of people that have worked really hard at it. Kind of similar to what I was saying with, I see a lot of similarities between my class and then our senior class that we have now. Our senior class played the 2019 Super Regional in Norman, so I feel like they are really prepared to go tomorrow. They know what it's like playing against OU in Oklahoma. Obviously, now we're in Oklahoma City, but I think that they're ready to go, and I'm really proud of them just kind of taking it to the next level. We have a 5th-year senior, Rachel Lewis, who has really led us came back for her 5th year, wasn't done playing yet. Obviously, granted that with the COVID year, and just watching her with the freshmen, it's amazing how they can be 4 years apart, even 5 years apart, and really just feel so close. And she makes everyone around her feel really comfortable and just being who they are and playing the game. They don't have to prove anything to her. They just go out and play. So kind of like a silent leadership style from her. And then we just have the different personalities that just make it go. Not everyone's the same. Some are goofy, and you'll see our center fielder just be fiery and dancing and pointing. And then you have our pitcher on the mound who's really steady, and she has very little emotion besides smiling a lot. And it just all works really well together. They've worked really hard for this.
Yeah, she's had a great year. I think only 4 losses on the season, right around a 1 ERA. She's been fantastic. Hearing you talk about her doesn't really seem like she's phased by too many big moments. Mm-hmm. So I'm guessing you expect that to be the case tomorrow, but have you given her any wisdom like, hey, I've pitched in this setting before. I know kind of how things are. Has that been some pretty valuable experience for you to pass on to her and the rest of your staff as well?
Yeah, we've definitely talked about it, and we're fortunate. We go out and we play a tough schedule every year. I think early on we were at Missouri this year having a packed stadium, and then Arizona State was absolutely wild last weekend in those late games. So, obviously this is a lot bigger, but I think the noise level is something they need to adjust to. We've talked about that. But just really being able to lock it down, and okay, you look up and you see this crowd, but then you look down and you just see your catcher, and you go, you lock in with your teammates and you make eye contact with your shortstop. You've been playing together for 4 years. And so that's more the advice I gave her, just reminding her that she's setting the pace and things like that, and just really locking in with her teammates pre-pitch and going from there.
The success of this OU lineup is very well documented. What do you think the biggest strength, though, of OU is 1 through 9 with their lineup?
Yeah, I mean, there's obviously no breaks. It's hard to say that you can pitch around anybody, because then you have to pitch to the next person. So I think it's just that if one person doesn't get it done, it's the next that can. So I think that's obviously really tough. And then I think that they make good adjustments in game, and I'm excited to go and play them in a single game, not a 3-game series like I talked about we had to do in 2019, because you can kind of go out and just go one time through the lineup at a time. So I think that they're good at making adjustments in game, and so it's just about who can counter each other.
Is it fair to say that your lineup really scrappy, really fast, really aggressive on the base paths? Is that a fair assessment?
Yeah, I think the top of our order with Skylar Shellmeyer and Rachel Lewis definitely have some speed in it, and it's tough to when you have that on the bases with power than at the plate. So I think right now it's I wouldn't want to pitch our lineup either. Our pitchers know that, and they have to do it all the time. So that's always made us better throughout this season is, when we are in preseason and midweeks, if we need some at bats, we're having to pitch to some tough hitters every day.
I just love how all of the former alumni keep up with the team. They watch every single games that they can. I know you got a big group text where you're going back and forth about the team. So obviously you're somewhat familiar with Jordy Ball. And I know that you got your own team to take care of, but what's just been your early impressions on what she's been able to show this year, especially after a year where she won National Freshman of the Year?
Yeah, I know. Speaking as an alum, I just think that it's funny because I just want to know how is she? Obviously, she has this big persona on the mound, so we just all, as the alums, want to know, like, how is she in person? How is she as a teammate? You hear nothing but good things, and it seems that the teams really embraced her and that she's a great teammate. So, like I said, as an alum, that's really what we care about. Obviously, she's a great competitor, and it's cool to see that as a young freshman just being so confident. But yeah, it seems like she's a great teammate, and that we haven't heard anything otherwise. So it's cool to see that.
New format this year at the Women's College World Series. Are you in favor of it? Are you a big fan of the tournament being longer and more rest days?
Absolutely. I think the players deserve it. It's a big deal. It's what they worked for their whole lives. And so I don't think packing it in for TV or for whatever other reasons is the right thing to do. I mean, things have changed a lot since I was here as a player. I think that the grind is a little bit harder. The athletes are tougher. The lineups are tougher that we're facing. So that time to prepare and rest is really important. And I think that the players really need that, and then they deserve that.
I think there's going to be attendance records that are broken this year in Oklahoma City. And I think attendance records were broken last year, but just the overall momentum of the sport is incredible. It's a great time for you and your staff to make the Women's College World Series because of all the eyeballs that are going to be on this tournament. How big is this going to be for your recruiting, especially since, I guess, Michelle, you're the only team kind of in your region that's playing this deep in the season?
Yeah, no, I think it's huge. I think obviously we're really familiar. We recruit everywhere, really, but we have a lot of core Midwest players right now. So I think for some of those players that maybe don't get to see us all the time on Big Ten Network or where we're most on it, I think it brings that access where we're going out and watching their games and they may not have seen us play a lot before. So they're really getting used to our style. And I think we're a fun team to watch. So I think that when you see the way that we coach and the way we interact with our players and how they interact with each other, it's something that you want to be a part of. So I'm excited about that.
Last question. It's one of my favorite questions to ask. Lauren's running a new softball league. Shay's out coaching on the West Coast. Aaron's doing some TV stuff. I mean, there's just so many. It seems like every single former alum is involved in softball one way or another. Jessica Schultz, Destiny Martinez are doing their thing as well. Why do you think so many alums, especially around your class, have elected to pursue a career in the world of softball?
Yeah, that's a great point. I think that obviously Oklahoma is the heart of softball, so you're around it a lot, and there's a lot of opportunity. Coach Gasso is really great with trying to, get with us at that point in time. Like, what do you want to do? Do you want to stay in the game, or you want to move on? And it's cool to see that you have those people like myself whose niche and Sam Ricketts is in coaching, where others they might have coached a couple years, but they're finding their niche in softball in some other way, and whether it's the perfect game that Destiny and Jess are involved in with recruiting or commentating, and it's really cool. I think the love for the softball stays deep. So if you can make a living on it, I think why not? if
Yeah.
that's want to
Yeah.
go.
Actually, last one, Marita Hines Field is about to be no more. And I know that you spent a lot of important years of your life playing on that field. You had a lot of great memories. The new Loves Field is going to be awesome, but is it somewhat sentimental that Marita Hines Field maybe no more, especially when you had so many great moments there?
It 100% is. I think I don't know what they're going to do with it after they build the new one just down the street. So I hope it's still there because I think for us alums, it's our home, and we're really proud of all the things that we did there, especially when we weren't on TV, at practice and all the times we spent just hanging in the locker room was not going home to our apartments after the game, just sitting there for hours hanging out. So it's definitely homey, but I think that the whole program deserves something bigger and better, and especially the fans because they definitely show up for them.
She's Michelle Gascoigne, 2013 national champ, pitching coach at Northwestern. Michelle, best of luck this week. Enjoy Oklahoma City, and I know I speak for everyone. We hope that you make a deep run in this thing.
Thank you so much. Thanks for having me.